Nothing?
No, not yet.
If anything's gone wrong, we're finished. We can't go back to the freighter. Anyway, I'd rather swim. That ship was so filthy.
Keep your voice down.
Don't be so melodramatic. We're miles from land.
Voices travel on the sea.
Past time. It's after 10.
What is it? Do you see something?
Yeah. Row. Keep to the left. Be strange getting back to the United States again.
Who is this Mr. Lucky?
Doesn't matter. As long as he and his ship suit my purpose, that's all I care about.
It's almost 10:30.
Thank you. I didn't realize it was so early.
What an unusual charm. Is it African?
No, Brazilian.
Won't you join us, Mr. Lucky?
Well, thank you, Mrs. Dubois.
Yes, and tell us about your charm.
Patricia.
Well, it's supposed to ward off the evil eye. It was given to me by a young lady in Sao Paulo. She thought it might help me in my life's work.
And that is?
Warding off the evil eye.
Mr. St. John?
Who'd you think I was? What are you staring at?
It's just that we look so much alike.
That's why you were hired.
Our names?
Mr. Frederick St. John and Ursula.
No, the name you're using.
Oh, Dr. Benjamin first and Mrs. Jean first.
Doctor? Why doctor?
I thought it'd be more respectable.
Where are the clothes?
We put them in cabin number 5 down below.
We'll find it. Now, you get going. The freighter won't wait out there all night. She lies exactly 87 degrees. Go on.
Oh, Mr. Lucky, you shouldn't be allowed to tempt a lady with such marvelous food. Artichoke vinaigrette, beurre à la béarnaise, and now crepe Suzette. I've simply thrown all caution to the winds tonight. But tomorrow I'll be back on yogurt and wheat germ.
Mrs. Dubois, I'm sure we have a recipe for that, too. Will you excuse me?
Yes, of course.
What's the matter, compadre?
Well, it could be nothing, Lucky. It's just that I don't want to alarm any of the other guests.
What happened?
Well, 2 people disappeared from the table over there. Joe tells me they've been gone for over half an hour.
Or perhaps they went home.
I saw both launches off. They weren't on either one.
Then we better take a turn around the deck and check below.
Oh, and things was so nice and quiet.
Hurry. We may be missed in the dining room.
This dress is absolutely horrible. The woman had no taste. It's like a little girl's formal.
This is no time for vanity. Everything's been very carefully planned. I don't want anything to go wrong because my work's very important.
Nothing's going to go wrong. Now, will you stop worrying?
I would love to see the faces of those immigration officials. When that freighter docks and we're not on board. They plugged every loophole to keep me out of the country. Now, all we have to do is walk ashore with the well-fed patrons of this diner. How do I look?
Fine. Except your ego's showing.
I hear something. as I say. Quickly, lie down on the bed.
You find him?
I don't know. Thought I heard voices.
In there, in my cabin?
You don't usually lock your door, do you?
Never. I don't even carry a key.
That's what I thought. All right, open up in there. I hear you moving around.
Gentlemen, I must ask you to keep your voices down.
I'm sorry, sir. My cabin is off limits to guests.
I'm sorry, gentlemen. I'm Dr. First. My wife's been taken ill. She's suddenly taken ill.
You mean she became ill on board?
Yes, something she ate. Food poisoning. Nothing serious, I assure you.
Nothing serious, he says.
Well, it's serious to us, Dr. First. What did she have for dinner?
Well, what difference does it make? She's going to be perfectly all right.
Andamo, call Dr. Eaton. I'm sure you won't mind if our doctor examines your wife. It's standard procedure. Our insurance company insists on that.
Well, I certainly do mind. And if it's trouble that you're worried about, there won't be any.
Dr. First, you have a right not to have anyone else examine your wife. But in order to protect ourselves, I must insist that you sign a release absolving the Fortuna of all responsibility.
Yes, I'll sign that before we go.
Thank you.
Now I must treat my wife. Excuse me.
What's the matter, compadre? You look like a man with a problem.
A girl, the doctor's wife. Her face and figure just don't match her clothes.
Well, maybe she has no taste.
Maybe. But you can't disguise Margot 47 by putting it into a soda bottle. It's still Margot 47.
As a connoisseur of wine, may I say I wouldn't mind having a little glass of that myself? I better get that release.
Good night, Mr. Lucky.
Good night. Do come again.
We will.
Well, madame, I hope you're feeling better.
Oh, yes, thank you much.
I'm delighted to hear that. Oh, would you be good enough to sign that release, please? Thank you. Oh, and would you put your address where indicated, too?
Yes.
Thank you. I feel we must make up to you in some way for tonight. Perhaps you will be good enough to come back sometime under more pleasant circumstances.
I rather doubt that.
Oh, I assure you the Fortuna has much more to offer.
I'm sure. I see the launch is ready to leave. Shall we go?
Oh, one moment, please. Just want to make sure you sign in the right place. Thank you. Good night.
I trust you're feeling better, Mrs. First.
You're very kind.
Well, Mr. Connoisseur of wine.
Some wines just don't live up to the promise that's on the label, that's all. This one happened to turn sour at sea.
All right, Pudge, I'll hang on.
Oh, what are you doing up so early?
Trying to find a couple of needles.
Oh, yeah. Carlos said that you wanted to see me?
Yes. I tried to check on the doctor's wife's health and found that not only is there no Benjamin First, M.D., he also gave a phony address. And he didn't strike me as the practical joker type. Hello. It's taking him so long.
Who?
Pudge. He's checking with the cab dispatcher at the pier. Hello? Yes. Yes, that's right. Good boy. Yes, I've got it. Well, the hack driver remembers them, or at least remembers her for the same reason that you remember women. They were still in the city last night.
Hey, compadre, wait for your companion and pal, will you? Are you sure that's the right address? This is a costume place. They rent costumes.
That's the address I got from Pudge, who got it from the cab dispatcher, who got it from the cab driver.
Oh. Must have lost something in the translation.
handsome couple, both blondes.
Look, mister, like I told you, there's no Dr. First here, or Dr. Second, or Dr. Third.
Very funny.
Between us, mister, business stinks. Nobody's been here since yesterday afternoon that hasn't been stuffed.
Oh, he's a scream.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, see you around Halloween.
Thanks, especially for the laughs.
Yeah.
You're hysterical.
Yeah, scream.
Yeah.
Something behind that humor of his. Andamo, the doctor didn't want his name on that release for a reason that had nothing to do with the lawsuit.
Well, yeah, but what?
I don't know, but I'm going to find out. Let's go back to the boat. I want to have a look at your cabin.
Right.
Those are the men from the ship. Well, they've traced us this far. What next?
They don't worry me any. They've come to a dead end here. We won't even be in the city tomorrow morning. That the new pamphlet?
Yes, it came this morning. Printer wants it proofread.
After lunch. All in good time. We've got to learn patience in this country. The Americans don't like to be pushed. That's what the others were never able to understand. That's why they failed. And that's why we'll succeed.
Lucky, these
I wonder
gentlemen.
if you'd mind very much coming along with us.
Well, that depends on who's us, and why should I?
Oh, no, Lucky. These men are from...
I can answer half your question.
Well, why didn't you tell me?
It didn't occur to me. I knew they were Federalists the minute they came on board. One of them said, please.
Do you have a warrant?
No, an invitation.
Very well. I accept. Would you mind coming along with us?
Do you have a warrant?
No, an invitation.
Very well, I accept.
That's a storefront in Lyon. Next. A synagogue wall. Next. That's a priest's house in Buenos Aires. All right, Paul, that's enough for now.
I'm rather mystified, Mr. Barber. Of course, we've all read about these things lately, but what has it got to do with me? Or with Andamo? Or with the Fortuna?
Last week, a freighter left Caracas bound for this port. And we know that a certain couple was aboard. When the ship docked this morning, they weren't aboard. Two people who looked something like them were.
Oh, then your information was incorrect. Mistaken identity.
That's what they'd like us to think. For 2.5 hours last night, this freighter lay dead in the water with unexplained engine trouble, just 5 miles off the coast. We know that during this time, a switch took place. Your boat was used as a point of entry. Well, they were seen leaving your boat.
Who was seen?
Frederick St. John and Ursula Heft. All right, Paul.
Dr. First and his wife.
Frederick Marion St. John. Born Buffalo, New York, 1913. U.S. Navy, 1930. Jump ship. He and this woman have devoted their lives to making sure the fascist flame doesn't go out. After the war, they turned up in Holland, but they were thrown out. All right, Paul, kill it. Everywhere the St. Johns have been, the garbage smell of fascism has appeared. Books, flags, these pamphlets, and always this symbol. A week ago, they left Venezuela. And now...
And now they finally reached America. And I was the big fat key they used to get in.
Well, obviously, they were tipped off that we had the dock covered, and in enough time to make an involved switch.
Mr. Barber, what you're suggesting would take a bundle of green. Well, last night alone would have cost thousands.
You're right, of course. Their organization is small but efficient. We want to find out who's financing them in this country. And you, Mr. Lucky, are in an excellent position to help.
I'm flattered, but what can we do that you can't do?
Better.
They were traced to an address in the city. And we thought that since they had been your guests last night, that some basis for a possible friendship might have been established. We want a lead, a name, an address, a phone number, anything that might point us toward their backers. If you agree to help, you're just to look around, not poke around. If they act the least bit suspicious, get out of there fast. Because if you do agree to help us, you'll go in alone.
Well, we'd like to help you, but he gave us a phony address on that release.
Here's an address we're sure of. You know it?
Yes. We were there this morning.
Yeah, sure, I know that. Just wish I was going with you, that's all.
We'd better do as Mr. Barber said. I'll go inside. If I'm not out in a half an hour, you'd better call him.
Okay. Hey, compadre.
Yeah.
Forgetful.
Thank you.
I'll lay you 3 to 1 I wind up making that call.
You got a bet.
What, you here again? You must have the wrong address or something.
I'd like to see Doctor First.
Yeah, like I said before, there's no Dr. First here. So why don't you be a good guy and wave bye-bye, huh?
What happened to your sense of humor?
You won't be so funny when I call George.
You hear me talking to you, buddy? Now, I know they're here. I saw them come in. Now, either you stir us together or I come back with a lawyer and a warrant and everything else I need to pry this place open.
What'd you have to get so tough for? Can't you act like a human being? I'll go see if anybody knows what you're talking about. You wait here. Thinking of renting some costumes?
Must be quite a run on war plays,
Yeah, like I said, there's no Dr. First here. And like I said, you got the wrong address or something.
Nice rifle.
Yeah, you know, it's props, fakes. You know, for little theaters, school kids, plays, you know. What are you doing?
You keep these fake rifles well oiled. Well, guess I'll run along. Thanks for the help. By the way, in case you should see Doctor First, tell him Mr. Lucky was looking for him. I met him and his wife, Ursula, on my boat, the Fortuna.
Did you say Ursula?
Did I?
Yeah.
Wonder why I said that. I'll keep in touch.
Hold it. George.
Yeah.
Keep this guy on ice or something. Get it? It's a prop. Fake, blanks. I wish I could have seen your face when that breakaway bottle hit George. Oh, boy.
All right.
Tell him about the bottle.
Yeah, go on.
So you knew my real name. How?
You think he's a government agent, eh?
What's the difference? His end's the same.
Who bought you, St. John? What sick mind bought you?
Why, I did, Mr. Lucky. You're surprised, of course. But you see, no sick mind.
Mrs. Dubois, why? Do you know what you're doing?
Perfectly. And as to the why, it's very simple. Because I believe in it. Surely, as a good American, you wouldn't deny me the right to believe whatever I wish.
Mrs. Dubois, I'm catching a plane.
You run along, then. I'll be leaving, too. You're very foolish to stand in the way of progress, Mr. Lucky. Goodbye.
I'll dispose of him by...
I don't care to hear what you're going to do. That's your business. My money is yours for results, not details. I want to talk to you for a minute, outside. You will excuse us, won't you, Mr. Lucky?
Boy, you sure look foolish. Get these off me. How'd you get in here?
Oh, there's a door behind all that junk. There's a window in the hall. I waited 20 minutes, then I heard the shot, so I came.
I wasn't worried for a minute. Where are the others? Where's Barber?
I didn't call him.
You what?
I thought you was getting killed. I was in a hurry.
Hurry with these.
There must be something wrong with that lock. I can't pick it.
Someone's coming. You better hide.
Close your eyes, my friend. It's better that way.
Drop it or your man dies. Shoot! Shoot! I mean it. All right?
No!
Hey, Lucky. Listen.
Uh-oh, we're in for it.
You'll get a shot off. Boys, in here. In here.
Oh,
Well, you look just fine.
how did you know where we were?
Well, we weren't that far away.
Andamo, about that knife.
Well, it's just a prop, that's all. It's showbiz.
Glad you enjoyed yourselves.
Well, it was a little more physical than I anticipated. However, I think it was worth it.
So do I. We got the backer we wanted. Mrs. Dubois is in custody, thanks to you.
Oh.
I'll be seeing you again, Mr. Lucky.
Right.
What did he mean by that? Why will he be seeing us again?
I don't know. Unless it's to get me out of these.